It is the longest race of the NNSCRA season. Welcome everybody here to Charlotte Motor Speedway as we get ready for a 60-lap event here tonight. This is the Coca-Cola 600. Every single year we come here to this track, and this is the longest race that we hold. And these drivers, a lot of them equate this with an all-star race or something. They really want to win this kind of event because this is one of the very few endurance-type races that we have during the season. And as I said, 60 laps of racing here today. We've never raced 60 laps at any other track this season. But we're getting ready for the green flag to wave over this 42-car field. And what with the schedule change now of it only being 3 more races until the chase cutoff, this could be a big opportunity tonight for some driver to roll the dice, get a good pit strategy going, and maybe come away with a victory and maybe get themselves up in the hunt for maybe a wild card spot or inside the top 10 in points, depending on where they currently sit in the standings. On the pole position is going to be Bob Jones in the 27. Hasn't gone to victory lane since Derek Motodome, and even in that point, he ended up having the win almost handed to him. Tonight, he's got a chance to be able to pick up a win through domination as he'll start on the inside of the front row. As I said, he comes in 6th in points, 3rd in rookie points, and he's trying to make the chase tonight be a good step in the right direction. Alongside of him will be a driver who's actually been putting together good runs as of late, Levi McIntyre, being sponsored by the U.S. Army here this evening on his Ford Fusion. He comes into this race 29th in the point standings, still trying to go to victory lane, though. He hasn't been to victory lane yet this season. Jessica Shelton in the All-Star race looking number 29 Coors Light paint scheme. She's starting off in the 3rd position here tonight. Shelton, if I recall correctly, actually finished well here in this event last season when she drove the 13 car. We'll see how she does here tonight driving for Michael Norman Motorsports. She comes into this race currently 36th in points, so you can bet she's probably looking for a wild card position with wins in the last few races of the regular season. Alongside of her is our Daytona 500 winner Charles Sanford, who currently still sits just outside the top 10 in points. He is 14th in the standings coming into this evening's event. And then rounding out the top 5, that's going to be Charles Jackson in the 19. Charles currently comes into this race sitting in the 32nd position, and this is a driver who was up inside the top 10 trying to make back-to-back chases and maybe go for back-to-back Snickers Cup Series championships up till a couple weeks ago. Charles Jackson, though, has been on a bit of a slump. Tonight, he may be able to get it turned around as he starts inside the top 5. Time to get these cars rolling off. They're going to complete a pace lap, and while they do that, we're going to show you your starting grid on the top of your screen. The points coming into this race are as follows. Ian Dutta, 2-time winner of the season. He is the current points leader. He's got a 28-point advantage over a new 2nd place in points, Danny Wells. Joshua Collard is now 3rd in the point standings. He is a total of 37 points back. And got Jacob Lawler, Noah Hart, Bob Jones, and last week's winner, and now a 2-time winner, Chris Washer. That's the top 7. Megan Atkins, Austin LaPlante, and Richard Johnson. That is the top 10 in the point standings. Just how close is it as far as drivers inside the top 10 and outside the top 10? Well, and I don't know why I just went to helicopter view. Well, you got Megan Atkins, 8th in points. She has 4 points over Austin LaPlante and Richard Johnson, who are 9th and 10th. 7 points over 11th in standings, Sean Galligan. Harrison Langford, the 2-time winner this season for Petty Enterprises, he is only 9 points out of the top position, and then Andrea Erickson is only 12 points out of the top spot as far as inside the top 10 in points, I should say. That is the 8th position that we are talking about. So Galligan, Langford, Erickson, keep your eyes on them. Sanford, Daly, Matthews, Pichu, London, those are other drivers that could possibly move inside the top 10 here tonight, depending on how the drivers inside the top 10 do here this evening. But a driver inside the top 10 in points starts on the pole position, Bob Jones. We're ready to turn him loose here for 60 laps of racing. Buckle up tight. Hope you're ready for a long one. The Coca-Cola 600, longest race of the season, is green. Preferred line is going to be that inside line, and you can see easily Bob Jones moves to the lead. Jessica Shelton trying to follow in his tire tracks into 2nd. Looks like she will complete the pass on Levi McIntyre for the runner-up spot. All these drivers running patriotic or U.S. military-related schemes due to the fact that this is usually run around the Memorial Day weekend. As right now, Bob Jones opens up quite a bit of daylight between himself and this raging battle for second. Charles Jackson almost actually went to the apron, trying to get underneath Jessica Shelton. I think they had to actually bail out of the throttle there for a moment, and that allowed the 29 to get around and keep the second position. Jackson, though, he'll settle for third. Meanwhile, behind him, they're going to go 4 wide. Pichu London, Kyle Corbett, and Charles Sanford. So Michael Waltrip Racing sandwiches. Sanford gets into LaPlante. Save it, LaPlante. I think he's going to. Oh, they bring it back up into traffic. Dougie Shears as well. Michaels is involved. And they're wrecking back here. I saw the 5 of Kyle Matthews in it. Megan Atkins has gotten a piece of it. Michael Norman's back here. There's Ian Dutta, the points leader. He's caught there on the apron. Danny Wells, second in points, is involved. Jacob Lawler just behind him. We're looking at the Daniel Day machine, the 24 car. As I think that was James Silverfox, who just went around his outside. Dylan Schwallenberg, our winner from Talladega, is involved. Cole Daly may have gotten some damage. There's Norman. Mary Cole. There's another car badly damaged there. Who's that? Oh, that's Joshua Michaels. I saw him get involved from the get-go. And Bob Jones is the leader under the first caution flag of the day. There's Michael Norman, our winner from Spartan. Joshua Michaels is collected in it. Both the Red Bull cars were in it. And there is Ian Dutta sitting on pit road. The points leader coming into this race is involved. And I believe Ian Dutta actually doesn't have very much damage, but I believe he was caught on that little space between the apron and the racetrack and couldn't get the car turned around and refired. So he had to teleport to pit road. As the leaders are coming down, Joshua Michaels, he's taking his car back behind the wall. Tough break for a lot of these drivers. Didn't really get to, get their car out of the blocks and see exactly what they'd be able to do tonight. It looked like the whole incident basically started with Charles Sanford getting the wall off of 4. He then gets into LaPlante. LaPlante got into Shears. They went through the grass and then came up into traffic. But we will be looking back at a replay to get a full look at just exactly what happened. Here's Austin LaPlante. Damaged race car and all. Jessica Shelton, fast pit stop for her. I think she may have actually gone with just 2 tires. Charles Sanford going to do the same. He's down and away. And then comes out Bob Jones, Charles Jackson, Pichu Lennon, Corbett, McCrory, Levi McIntyre, and others. So Jessica Shelton, Charles Sanford roll the dice in order to gain some track position. And Shelton will be the leader under our restart. But let's jump back and see exactly what happened to put us under the caution for the first time here today at Charlotte. Well, here's what happened. Watch the 55 on the high side there. Charles Sanford going to get into the wall. He comes down to LaPlante. LaPlante then gets into Dougie Shears. Now, I thought we may actually be able to save it, but with this kind of a front straightaway, it's very difficult for drivers to be able to merge back up with traffic, especially when they're double wide all the way back. And here they come up there, and oh man, Dougie Shears basically was the one that did that. He carried way too much speed there through the grass. Up into Danny Wells, there's Megan Atkins, Harrison Langford was back behind all this, so too was Nick Barney. Kyle Matthews appeared to have gotten a piece of it. Let's find the points leader, Ian Dutta. Everybody just starts coming into this. John Cittadino's going to get a piece of it. There's Schwallenberg, facing the wrong direction. 82 got a hit there from Daniel Day. Day also ended up getting to Schwallenberg. Richard Johnson's held up behind Ian Dutta. Chris Washer, last week's winner, does a good job getting to the high side to avoid. There you see the pace car going by this wreckage. Noah Hart, he was collected in it, 5th in points. As we said, Michael Norman, he was in it. And there you see Ian Dutta. Now take a look at the way the car is. Rear tires are on the apron. The splitter, though, is up and on the racetrack. And I don't think he was able to get that car refired and dislodged from where he was. I think he was stuck there. And that's not what Ian Dutta needed, especially with the fact that he really didn't receive a whole lot of damage out of that whole incident. But, man, the points leader in trouble. Danny Wells, 2nd in points, got in it. 5th in points. Noah Hart was collected. Megan Atkins, 8th in points. And Richard Johnson may have gotten a tiny piece of that too, 10th in the standings. So, boy, a lot of drivers early on here coming in, running well in the standings, involved in this. Let's take a few onboards. Riding on board with the Red Bull Toyota of Joshua Michaels. This is what he saw. Just little to no reaction time right there. There's not really much you can do about it. And that was some pretty hard licks there into the sides of Austin LaPlante and Dougie Shears when they came back up into traffic. On board now with 2-time winner Harrison Langford, who did get some damage out of this. right in the middle of it. Well, we don't have an All-State Good Hands Driving Award, but if we did have one, it would certainly have to go to this guy, William Duncan in the 99. Watch him make his way through this. Unbelievable. What a job right there. I mean, how did he even see where he was going? William Duncan, that was one of the best moves I've seen all season of wreck avoidance. And look at the positions he picks up due to it. Man, that was amazing. And we had another incident coming out of turn 4 on the following lap, they just told me. Looking here at Andrea Eriksson. She's going to get into the fence. James McLeod's going to go up. He's going to get into her and turn that 42 car around. That's 13th in points, Andrea Eriksson. Hasn't been to victory lane since Phoenix and is looking to get into the top 10 in points. Driver's side first into the outside safer barrier right at the start-finish line. This was coming down to receive the caution for the incident that had just taken place in the front straightaway 1 lap ago. There you see Austin LaPlante trying to get by. He hit the wall, but then they're telling me it's not over. Watch the 33 of Megan Atkins coming into view. I don't think that Megan knew the 42 wasn't up to speed and just run straight into the back of Andrea Eriksson. And Megan Atkins comes in 8th in the standings. This is certainly not what she needed. And I don't know if anybody's going to hit the 33 or not. We better look. Oh, look out, Ralph Mason. Oh, man. Oh, he's going to actually get into the side of John Cittadino as he tried to turn that thing dead left to avoid the 33. But 2 females running well in the point standings. Megan Atkins 8th in points. Andrea Eriksson 13th in points involved in this. And that explains why the 33 had teleported to pit road when the leaders made their pit stops. So we had a wreck on 1 lap, and then the following lap, another incident, which I guess we can classify as a 3-car incident. And I'm telling you, a lot of drivers coming in running well in points have been involved. We'll try and document it all as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Charlotte. And the lights are out atop the pace car, which means we will go back to green on lap 8 of 60. Still a long ways to go, 53 laps of racing to be exact. The drivers that have declared themselves out of this race already include the following. Looks like Dylan Schwallenberg may have gone back behind the wall already. Cole Daly was damaged. He's out of the race. Megan Atkins, as well as Michael Norman and Joshua Michaels. I believe Ian Dutta is still running. There he is, but he is 3 laps down to the leaders after being stuck on pit road due to not being able to fire the car up and needing to teleport back to the pit lane. So Ian Dutta here today, I think basically now needs to hope that more wrecks happen so he can pick up spots here in the running order, as right now he's in a world of hurting to start off this evening's event. But Jessica Shelton starts on the point now after that pit strategy. Sanford right behind her in 2nd. Bob Jones is 3rd. Charles Jackson now 4th with Pichu London in 5th. Kyle Corbett runs in 6th. Anthony McCurry is 7th. 8th is Levi McIntyre. James McLeod now in 9th. And Sean Galligan, his teammate, is in 10th. Nick Barney 11th. William Duncan will restart 12th. Jake Rogers 13th. 14th place is Sean Henley with Cody Lamas in 15th. 16th is Joshua Collard. Austin LaPlante runs in 17th. 18th, Chris Washer. 19th will be Ralph Mason. And Dylan Young completes the top 20. We get ready to go back to green here. Jessica Shelton ready to get us back underway. As to the drivers that were involved in that incident is where they came into the points. 1st, 2nd, 5th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, and 13th in points, as well as 14th and 15th in points. All were involved in incidents taking place there under that caution flag. As Bob Jones going to use the lap machine of Ian Dutta as a bit of a pick there, he'll go back to the inside of Jessica Shelton. Now remember, the 27 and a number of other drivers went with 4 tires. The 29 and 55 went with only 2 tires, so apparently fresh rubber is key here as to making passes, as we clearly saw Bob Jones blow by Jessica Shelton. Pichu London now going to take the 2nd position. You know, it's very hard to remember that Pichu London is a former NNSCRA champion. He won the Mobile Cup Series Championship, I believe it was back in Season 4. And now he's trying to go for a Snickers Cup Series Championship here, as he's 17th in the point standings. Now he's got Anthony McCurry to his inside. This all going on behind the 27 of Bob Jones. McCurry, let's see if London can get that run off the high side of 2. We've seen that outside line work sometimes. And oh boy, he really almost cleared McCurry, but McCurry is still there. London going to have to fight him off again. Let's see if he can get the run out of 4. Tooth and nail fighting back here from second position on back. Good battle going on here for 4th place behind McCurry and London as McCurry now clears the 14. Levi McIntyre there in 4th place. Charles Jackson hounding him for that spot, and Kyle Corbett starting to slip back there as he got caught in the outside line. Apparently didn't make it work off of 2. William Duncan, who made that tremendous maneuver to get through that wreck. Now all of a sudden he's up here inside the top 10, now trying to take, I believe that would be the 6th position away from Kyle Corbett. Nice run there for William. We're actually being told that he will be out of that number 99. I believe it's at the end of this race. They're switching over to the number 6, still for Roush Fenway Racing, but what a night it would be if in his final start in that 99 number, if he could go to victory lane here in the longest race of the season. Meanwhile, up ahead, Anthony McCurry has done a good job running down Bob Jones for the lead. Jones had opened up quite a gap between himself and that battle for second, which at the time was between Anthony McCurry and Pichu London. Now McCurry has run the 27 car down, and he's all over his back bumper looking for the lead here at Charlotte. And he's going to go to the inside, tries to go a half groove lower here in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Bob Jones, though, not going to allow him the room to be able to make that pass. And I think there may be a slower car up ahead of these guys. It is the Andrea Eriksson machine, the number 42, trying to get out there, salvage what she can, but the leaders are coming up on her, and they're coming in a hurry. Will they be able to get by? Bob Jones, Anthony McCurry, they get by well. Let's keep here on the 42 machine, because this could be problems. Look out, Levi McIntyre comes into this. They got to encounter that 42 on the front straightaways here, and Charles Jackson gets the wall off that corner. Look at William Duncan, 2 free positions, goes by both Jackson and London. Oh, Charles Jackson getting held up back here. Sean Henley, where did Henley come from? He's up here now. Joshua Collard moving on by. Oh, Charles trying to get by Andrea Eriksson. Eriksson's not letting him on by at all. A couple other drivers caught there behind him as well. Jake Rogers and Cody Lamas. Charles Stamper back there. Dylan Poteet back there. They're all getting held up and not being allowed to pass. Now Jackson tries to forge a hole. Nope, can't do it yet. John Cittadino is there, and so is Silver Fox. These drivers losing valuable positions here. Charles Jackson, one of them, and now Eriksson finally gets moved up to the high side. So they're all going to try and get by now. That was not exactly, I think, what these drivers needed. Jake Cole's got some damage on his 39. I don't know if he got involved in that incident back on the first caution, but he's got some damage on the Aspen Dental Chevrolet. There's Jacob Lawler running way back here with his teammate Mary Cole. Lawler's 4th in points. This is not where he needs to be running. They currently have him scored in the 27th position. Noah Hart's back here, 5th in the standings. He's currently 29th. There's Richard Johnson, 10th in points in that critical 10th spot. He's currently in 30th. Kyle Matthews back here, 16th in the standings. He's 32nd on the grid. And there's 2-time winner Harrison Langford. We saw him get that damage when we went on board with him. He's back in the 33rd spot right now. And here's Danny Wells, 2nd in points. Now we know that Ian Dutta is 3 laps down, but Danny Wells not doing much better. Badly damaged race cars. He's got Dougie Shears right behind him. Right now the driver, it looks like, is Anthony McCurry apparently got around Bob Jones for the lead. Didn't see that happen as we were going through the field, but new leader, the 61 Audi out of Cowtech Racing. Right now the driver looks like he's doing the best out of everybody. Is this guy, Joshua Collard, currently in a tooth and nail fight with Sean Henley. That is for, I believe, the 8th position at the time. He's got Twinix racing cars all around him. Henley up ahead, just behind him, James McLeod. Right now, Collard sitting in a good position inside the top 10. What with other drivers around him having difficulty. The only other driver that I'm seeing inside the top 10 in points that's actually having a decent run here today is the driver running in the runner-up position at the moment, Bob Jones, 6th in points. Now we saw what Bob Jones was able to do when he was out in clean air. Let's see what he can do now as he's behind Anthony McCurry. Can he run down the 61? 61 did a good job of running him down, that's for sure, and has completed the pass, as we can clearly see. We're 1/3 of the way through this race now. 40 laps to go here at Charlotte. All these drivers ended up pitting back, I believe it was on lap was either lap 5 or 6. And we know these drivers can make it just around 25 laps. That's what we basically saw this race weekend. So these drivers are going to have to be pitting somewhere in the fuel window of lap 25 to 30, I believe. So green flag pit stops could come into play here, as it is a 2-car breakaway, a huge breakaway, really, between Anthony McCurry, Bob Jones, and the third-place driver of Levi McIntyre, who's got his teammate right behind him, hounding him for that position, William Duncan. Kyle Corbett right there, back there as well, for Michael Waltrip Racing. He's the only Michael Waltrip car seems to be actually having a good run. Sanford was up there, but apparently the two-tire strategy didn't work out in his favor. He's way back behind, and same for Cody Lamas. I believe both those cars actually fell prey to the slower machine of Andrea Eriksson and lost valuable positions. Speaking of slower cars, we got a couple more cars up ahead. Dougie Shears, Danny Wells, and just up ahead of them, the Andrea Eriksson machine once again. Lap traffic certainly coming into play here, and that's what happens in these endurance races. As Dougie Shears has hit pit road, somebody else was on pit road. I couldn't tell who it was. Well, that's Daniel Day. Austin LaPlante is on pit road. So a couple of the Hendrick boys coming down pit road, as well as the Red Bull Camry of Dougie Shears, which means these drivers, these leaders, may have to pit pretty soon here for green flag pit stops. And we've seen how pit road seems to be a menace for these drivers to try and safely get to the pit road, let alone their pit stalls. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be coming to pit road as far as the leaders here. Bob Jones not coming. Jessica Shelton's on pit road, so is Sanford. You kind of expected those two would be on pit road early. Drew Austin, his teammate Chris Washer on pit road, as well as Mary Cole in the 18. So Jessica Shelton, Charles Sanford, that pit strategy of going with 2 tires only, not working out too well in their favor. They had to pit long before a lot of the other leaders did. Now here comes Anthony McCurry and Bob Jones. The now lap machine of Danny Wells right behind him. Noah Hart has hit pit road. So is Richard Johnson and Harrison Langford. William Duncan, Levi McIntyre, they're coming in. James McLeod is there. Ralph Mason is in. Joshua Collard. I believe somebody stayed out, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the 25 of Sean Henley. Oh no, Henley's still there. He must have lost some spots on pit road then. Who are they saying is the leader? Oh, they're scoring. Kyle Corbett is the leader. And here he comes. Corbett, and is that Pichu London right behind him? It is. Dylan Young coming in now. There's Sean Galligan right behind him, and Charles Jackson. They're coming to pit road now. Citadino, Lawler, they just completed their stop. Contact back there between Jacob Lawler and Sean Galligan. Dylan Poteet is down and away. Kyle Matthews down and away. There's London pulling into his pit stall. Jake Cole completed his service. So did Jake Cole. I believe, and Ralph Mason's down and off. Now Andrea Eriksson coming to pit road. She's damaged and off the pace and off the lead lap as well. Watching Kyle Corbett come off pit road. Let's see if he gets out ahead of Anthony McCurry and Bob Jones. Can Corbett cycle around as the leader? We'll see here. He stayed out one extra lap, then the 61 and 27. Well, there's your answer. Anthony McCurry around on the high side, coming through 1 and 2. He will probably cycle around as the leader again. Second place now is Bob Jones, but he has lost touch with the Audi. Those two were nose to tail for a majority of the last green flag run before they made the pit stops. Now Bob Jones way back. William Duncan's going to cycle into third. Corbett into fourth. Fifth place now Levi McIntyre. Jessica Shelton will be in sixth. Seventh, I believe, will be now James McLeod. Eighth place. Well, I don't think this is eighth. Eighth up here, I believe. Eighth place, I think, was Pichu London. Collard in ninth. And 10th place is Dylan Young. What a good run there for the Gold Deuce here tonight with the Miller Lite sponsorship. So right now, things changed up just a little bit there under that green flag pit stops. McCurry still with the lead. Jones in second, but a huge gap between the two of them. And William Duncan trying to catch up there in third place. Harrison Langford, slower car up ahead. Anthony McCurry will have to deal with him. And believe it or not, after the next lap, we're halfway through this race. We've had only one caution flag. We've been cleaning green since then. They've gone through one cycle of green flag pit stops, and incredibly enough, they didn't wreck coming to pit road. That's the first time this weekend they haven't wrecked coming down the pit lane. We had it happen in the Trucks race, we had it happen in the Mobile Cup Series race, but not here in Snickers. So these drivers had enough experience apparently to know how to safely get to pit road. We saw them split up with some drivers coming down one lap earlier, some drivers coming down one lap later than the main pack of cars. And I think that also helped as far as drivers not bunching up and running into the back of each other. Now these drivers ended up pitting between laps 25 to 30, as I said. Here's the big question. The fuel window is about 25 to 30 laps. Are these drivers going to have to make one more pit stop before this race is over? Or can they make it and stretch it the rest of the way? That's going to be the big question. Up ahead is the number 5 of Kyle Matthews out of Hendrick Motorsports. He'll be the first driver for these guys to have to encounter now. As Bob Jones, I don't know if it's that McCurry is slowing down due to lap traffic or Bob Jones has been able to finally find the groove to get him to speed, but he is catching back up to Anthony McCurry. We're going to have the battle for the lead on again. McCurry now dives to the inside of Matthews. He'll put him another lap down. Bob Jones going to follow right in the tire tracks there. Bob Jones doesn't have to do any work. He just has to follow in the tire tracks of the 61. It's Anthony McCurry who's having to do all the work of getting by these slower lap machines. As now here comes Bob Jones. Big run down the back straightaway. Battle for the lead. Bob Jones to the inside. You saw right there going into 3, he had to back out of the throttle just a little bit, but he was able to maintain side by side with the 61 coming out of 4. Let's see how they do here coming into turn 1. Jones has the advantage in the middle of the corner. McCurry looking for the runoff of 2. I don't think Bob Jones hasn't quite cleared yet. Oh, yes he does. Bob Jones to the lead. Or back to the lead, I should say. The pole sitter trying to go coast to coast in the longest race of the season, but McCurry did not let the 27 get away. He is right there, still ready to pounce, and he's going to do it. Here he comes, back to the inside here into turn 1, and look who's coming into the fray. William Duncan all of a sudden is back up here in the hunt. And I think Kyle Corbett's starting to catch up to these guys as well. He is. He just got to get around the lap car of Kyle Matthews. But we could have a 4-car fight for the lead here on our hands in just a matter of moments, as they're still double wide here for the lead. McCurry inside, Bob Jones outside, and look at the run Duncan's getting. He's coming in a hurry. William Duncan made it through that huge pile-up. How, I don't know. But he made his way into the top 10 after that green flag pit stop. He's up inside the top 5, and now he's looking for the lead here in that 99. Here he comes, right up on the back bumper. It's now a 3-car fight, and Kyle Corbett's starting to make his presence felt. He's trying to run these guys down. He's only about 7 or 8 car lengths behind them. Next car to try and catch these guys will be Jessica Shelton, currently in the 5th position, but she hasn't yet made her way by the 5 machine of Kyle Matthews. Still quite a bit of distance back there for the Coors Light Chevy to make up, but look at this, 4 cars up here, all on the lead lap, battling for the win. All different makes as well. An Audi out of Cowtech Racing, a Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing, a Chevy out of RCR, and a Toyota out of Michael Waltrip Racing. Which manufacturer can go to victory lane here? We're going to find out, because we're getting close to 20 laps to go. 3 wide for second. Corbett just shoved Duncan up the track, looking for the runner-up position. This all going on behind the Monster Energy Audi of Anthony McCurry. And we haven't even talked about the fact that Audi has only been to victory lane twice, both with the same driver. Season 6, Noah Hart at Darlington, and then this season with Noah Hart as well. Anthony McCurry would love to be able to become the 2nd Audi driver in history to go to victory lane. Could he do it? He made the chase last season with an Audi, but never picked up a win. Kyle Corbett right behind him. Corbett's been to victory lane this season already, but he's dropped to 22nd in points. A second win could put him up in the wild card position. William Duncan, we've talked about the tough luck he's had this season. 30th in the point standings. Has yet to go to victory lane, and he was a former chaser last season in the 6 machine. That pretty much explains why he's going over to a number change to that 6 car after this evening's event. And Bob Jones, currently 6th in the standings. He's a former winner this season, but I think he would love to be able to pick up a win through dominance rather than having the win handed to him. as new leader Kyle Corbett just got around Anthony McCurry like McCurry was standing still. 20 to go here at Charlotte. And I believe Levi McIntyre is now into the 5th position. He is indeed. Apparently he got around Jessica Shelton for that spot. Shelton now back into 6th. And now Levi McIntyre trying to get up here, maybe help his Roush Fenway teammate make it a 2-on-3 situation for the win. There is Shelton currently in the 6th position. Sean Galligan is now up into 7th. 8th place Joshua Collard. Right now, he and Bob Jones, the only two inside the top 10 points that are even having a decent night here. Jace McLeod runs in 9th, and how about Roush Fenway? The 99 running well, the 17 running well, and the 16 of Nick Barney up here in the 10th position, trying to take 9th place away from James McLeod. All three of the Roush Fenway cars having good evening here at Charlotte. James Silverfox for Kyotech, he's in 11th. 12th is Pichu London. Dylan Young is in 13th. How about Trent Dunham? Didn't talk about the one hardly at all today. He's having a great run in 14th here tonight. And Mary Cole, who started way near the back of the pack, I believe, is currently in the 15th position. Last week's winner from Daytona, Chris Washer, he's in 16th. Charles Sanford, I believe, is running in 17th place. There he is. 18th place, that's Sean Henley. And then 19th and 20th, they're in a tussle there, are Dylan Poteet and Cody Lamas. Jacob Lawler back here in 21st. 22nd place right now is Jake Rogers. Jake Cole back in 23rd. Citadino in 24th. 25th is Drew Austin. Noah Hart trying to take that away from him as he's in 26th. 27th place is Charles Jackson way back here. I think a lot of this can be attributed to him getting held up behind Andrea Erickson. His cars are making pit stops. 28th place is Ralph Mason. Richard Johnson 29th, and there's the leaders going on by him. So pit stops happening again. Dougie Shears was one of the first drivers to come down pit road last time. And as to my question of whether these drivers could make it the rest of the way on fuel or not, I think that question was just answered. I think this is going to be their final pit stop of the day, though. I think they'd be able to make it the rest of the way here. Don't know for certain, but we'll find out. Is Corbett coming to pit road this time? No, he's not, but Anthony McCurry is. McCurry, Bob Jones. Remember, Kyle Corbett, last green flag pit stop time, he ended up staying out one extra lap than Anthony McCurry. So he is able to continue on. Looks like Trent Dunham, Dylan Young, they're able to stay out one extra lap as well. Henley staying out. Cody Lamas is staying out. Mary Cole just completing her service. Noah Hart now leaving pit road. And if you watch the top of your screen, you'll see very soon the 56 of Kyle Corbett coming to pit road. There he is, right there, right behind Ralph Mason. And William Duncan decided to stay out an extra lap as well with Kyle Corbett. He now is coming to pit road. Kyle Matthews coming. I believe that was Sean Galligan back there as well, just hitting pit road now. Almost some contact between Nan Dutta and William Duncan coming off pit road, but they keep it together. As we're going to follow Anthony McCurry here, coming off the pit lane. Now the driver he's got to try and watch out for is this driver, Kyle Corbett. Corbett going to try and complete his service. They've got the right side tires on. Now around to the left. William Duncan, his service already complete. Will he be able to battle Corbett coming off of pit road? Not quite. Corbett's going to be about 2 car lengths ahead of him coming off pit road. Duncan's team got him a good pit stop, though. They kept tabs with the 56. Now they're going to try and run him down if they can. Looking for that green machine of Anthony McCurry, and I think that's him coming out of turn 1. Here he comes, Anthony McCurry. Is he going to be able to beat Kyle Corbett coming up pit road? He is! Anthony McCurry cycles back around as the leader. Corbett's team not quite fast enough to get him off pit road and keep the lead. And now Anthony McCurry's going to have trouble up ahead, though. Richard Johnson and his teammate, Ralph Mason. Is Ralph going to let his teammate on by and then play defense for him against the 56 of Corbett? This is going to get really interesting really fast. Ralph Mason, I'm certain, as a part owner of Kyotech Racing, would love to see another Kyotech Audi go to victory lane. There's smoke there in turn 3. Is the caution out? Oh, Jake Cole nearly almost got hit there by Anthony McCurry. Look out, Jackson's in trouble. Jake Rogers, Johnson, Adino, caution flag is waving. Second caution of the day, and that was right up in front of the leaders. Jackson's on pit road. Cody Lamas, Jake Cole. A number of others involved as well. I couldn't tell that are on pit road. Well, there's Richard Johnson. He's involved. Trent Dunham is involved. We were just talking about his good run. He was collected in whatever this was. Oh, there's damage on Kyle Corbett's machine on the right side and also on the hood. And he was in the second position. So some of the leaders were involved in this, apparently. Danny Wells is coming to pit road. It looks like Chris Washer may have some damage on his number 10 machine. And Anthony McCurry will be the leader under this, our second caution flag, with just almost 10 laps to go. It's 11 to go here at the stripe. Let's jump back, take a look at a replay of what just happened. This just after drivers made pit stops. And it looks like Kyle Corbett's coming up to take his position of second place, even though he is damaged. He didn't come to pit road, so I don't know what's going on there, but caution flag's out. Let's see what exactly happened. Looks like the incident started in turn 3, and then they wrecked in turn 4 coming onto the front straightaway. This was coming off of pit road. Trent Dunham in the 1 had just completed his service. He's going to come up the racetrack here, and I guess he thought it was safe to merge, but they were double wide behind him, and Mary Cole had nowhere to go. I mean, there was definitely a speed differential, and she just kind of ran over the 1 machine, but Trent came up the racetrack into that. Not up to speed there, and so I don't think you can really fault Mary Cole for that. And then Trent's going to come back down the racetrack. Let's see if everybody avoids him. Henley's going to avoid. Poteet, Langford, there's Drew Austin. Oh, Cody Lamas gets a piece of it, and then Jake Cole runs into the back of him. And I think that's how this whole incident's going to happen up here. LaPlante gets a tiny piece of it. Actually gets a piece of Cody Lamas too. Oh, look at John Citadino come barreling in. And then he's going to sideswipe Jake Rogers. Danny Wells going to get a piece of this. And I believe that Charles Jackson's going to get involved here in just a minute. There's Austin LaPlante getting a piece of it. Oh, somebody hit the Jake Rogers machine back here. Oh, that was Charles. There's Richard Johnson involved. McCurry and Ralph Mason just barely slicing through. And then there is where Corbett gets his damage. Second on the running order, Kyle Corbett just plastered the was it the 93 that he hit, or was it the 22? It was the 93. And they're showing Dougie Shears with engine damage. I don't know what happened to him. We'll find out in a minute. Here it is. Charles Jackson just never, I don't even know if he knew the 22 was up there. And then Richard Johnson comes plowing into it. And then watch on the right side of your screen. Here comes second on the running order, Kyle Corbett, full speed ahead and into it. William Duncan, Bob Jones, Levi McIntyre, and Jessica Shelton could have all been collected as well, but they weren't. Let's find out what happened to 83 of Dougie Shears. He was already damaged off the pace and in the 37th or 35th position. He was off the lead lap as well. Let's see who his hit is going to be with. I almost wonder if it might possibly be right there. Yep, Cody Lamas. After he and Jake Cole both slid back down the track, Dougie Shears was not able to avoid. Now, we've seen times when drivers hit another driver with that right front. There's some mechanical thing down there that if you hit it just right, the car just all of a sudden catches on fire and the engine expires. And that's what happened to Dougie Shears. Boy, that's a tough break for a lot of drivers who are en route to really good finishes here tonight. And a lot of drivers as well that were running pretty well in the point standings. But man, Kyle Corbett running second involved in that. Don't know how bad the damage is on his machine. He's still in second place though. Cody Lamas was looking for a good run tonight. So too was Jake Rogers. We know Trent Dunham was up inside the top 15. And Richard Johnson comes in this race 10th in the point standings. So tough break for a lot of drivers here. Let's take a few onboards here. We are looking from the rear bumper of Trent Dunham. Watch the speed differential as he's going to try and come back up and merge with traffic. And there's the hit from Cody Lamas and Jake Cole. If Trent had actually... Oh, wow. Another hit right there. I don't know who that was. And there's the wrecking coming out of turn 4. If Trent Dunham had actually kept his car a little bit lower, I think we could have avoided all that. But I don't really know why Trent came right up in front of drivers heading into 3. Riding on board now with the 93 of Richard Johnson. Take a look at what he saw. into Richard Johnson. And then there's the hit from Kyle Corbett. That's a hard impact there for the AAMCO Dodge. 10th in points, as we said. That critical 10th position in the standings. Not what Richard Johnson needed here today. Last on board with our current leader, Anthony McCurry. Watch him work his way through this. Right behind his teammate, Ralph Mason. Charles Jackson to the inside, Johnson to the outside, split the middle, and whoa, he nearly ran over his teammate right there, coming to the caution flag. That was a close call. Well then, after what was our second caution of the day, it's time to get these cars back under green flag conditions. Long green flag run here before we had our second yellow. And a couple drivers have gone back behind the wall as a result of that caution flag as well. They are going to include the following. Charles Jackson is out of the race, so too is Danny Wells. Andrea Erickson, I believe, is still on track, but she's 3 laps down. Cody Lamas is out of the race, though, so too is Trent Dunham, Jake Rogers, Jake Cole, Dougie Shears, and Richard Johnson joining Dylan Schwallenberg, Megan Atkins, Cole Daly, Michael Norman, and Joshua Michaels in the garage area. When we restart, we will have a total of 8 laps to go here tonight at Charlotte. Anthony McCurry is the current leader. Kyle Corbett, I don't know how bad the damage is on his machine. You can visibly see there is damage on the right side of his machine as well as on the hood. After he got into the Richard Johnson machine there out of 4. Don't know how bad the damage is. Don't know if he's up to speed. But he does have a lap machine of John Cittadino between himself and the third place driver of William Duncan. Then another lap car before you get to Bob Jones in 4th. 5th, Levi McIntyre. 6th, Jessica Shelton. 7th place, James McLeod. 8th place now is Sean Galligan. Nick Barney is in 9th. And Chris Washer, after coming up his second win of the season last week at Daytona, he is in the 10th position. Can Kyle Corbett do something here with Anthony McCurry? We're going to find out. Green flag's out. Corbett going to jump to the outside to do something here. Cittadino, though, did not go with him. And Cittadino now bores a hole to the inside of the 56. Now William Duncan going to try and go for second place. Bob Jones looking for third. And John Cittadino right now playing defense for Anthony McCurry. However, Cittadino, I'm sure, would love to get back on the lead lap. If he gets to the inside of Anthony McCurry, that could be trouble if one of those drivers behind him is able to follow him through and take the lead. Right now, though, Anthony McCurry is able to hold John Cittadino at bay. Bob Jones now going to go for second place underneath William Duncan. Now battle between teammates for third. Levi McIntyre trying to take the spot away from his teammate in the 99. And it looks like Kyle Corbett is up to speed. Look at James McLeod all of a sudden making his presence felt up here. He's going underneath Corbett and Duncan. That's for a spot inside the top 5. Nick Barney up there. Jessica Shelton up there. How about the Rush Fenway cars? All 3 of their rides inside the top 10 still here. In the closing stages of this race as Bob Jones goes to the bottom on John Cittadino. I don't think he was able to make the pass, though. Cittadino was strong there through that corner. Bob Jones now going to get a challenge for second. This all going on behind Anthony McCurry and the 61 machine. Here comes McLeod up into the picture now, looking for a runner-up position as well. He's in this 3-way battle for second, going on behind the lap car of John Cittadino, who then is just behind the Anthony McCurry machine. And now Bob Jones gets kicked up to the high side. Here comes the 17 to the bottom, Levi McIntyre. And now James McLeod, 3 wide for second place. Well, they settle it out now to double wide for 5th, but that was almost 3 wide for second as McLeod got a huge run coming out of 2. Right now, Anthony McCurry with a gap between himself and the lap machine of John Cittadino. Then another gap back to a 4-way battle for second. Right now, things are looking up for the 61 machine. Next time around, it is 3 to go. Can Anthony McCurry pull it off? Can McCurry pick up his first win in an Audi? His last victory, it's been a long winless streak for that 61 team. His last win came at the second visit to Daytona in Season 5. He won that race on fuel mileage. Can he win tonight's endurance race in the Coke 600 and put Audi in victory lane for the 3rd time in their career, their 2nd time this season, and for the 1st time in Anthony McCurry's career? Right now, Bob Jones back on the hunt, trying to get by the John Cittadino machine. That John Cittadino machine, the best thing that ever happened to Anthony McCurry there on that restart. as they come down here, 2 to go at Charlotte. They're single file from 2nd on back through 6th. Now Nick Barney, the first to step out of line to go for 3rd underneath his teammate Levi McIntyre. But Bob Jones still determined to get around that 72 car. Here he comes down to the bottom. Is he going to be able to get to the inside? He is. Look out. Here comes the 27 of Bob Jones. Side by side with John Cittadino trying to get by to be able to challenge McCurry for the win. White flag in the air. 1 to go. Does Jones have enough time to get there? Levi McIntyre right behind him trying to help cut the wind so they can run down that 61 Audi. Out of turn 2. The gap's about maybe 3 car lengths. Now about 2.5. It's closing. But do they have enough time to catch McCurry? Through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Bob Jones. One last attempt. 3 wide behind him. Out of 4 for the final time. Audi goes back to victory lane. This time with Anthony McCurry, the driver. McCurry finally picks up a win, his first of season 7. And Audi, for the 3rd time in their career, will go to victory lane. McCurry picks up the win in the Coke 600. So many times we put Anthony McCurry and endurance racing in the same sentence. Tonight is the proof of it. He wins here tonight in the longest race of the season. After 60 laps of racing, McCurry emerges victorious, and he becomes the 2nd Audi driver to go to victory lane. The first one was Noah Hart. He did it twice. Once in Season 6, once here in Season 7. McCurry becomes the 2nd Audi driver to go to victory lane. And you gotta bet this is a statement being made here by the Audis with the emergence of BMW, Mitsubishi making their way into the Snickers Cup Series next season in Season 8. McCurry last season made the chase. Everything seemed to fall apart once he made the chase, though, and he had no wins since moving over to Audi. Tonight, he won't have to say that anymore, as he picks up his first win of the season here in Season 7. 24th in points he comes into this race. This is a big opportunity for him here in the latter stages of the regular season to maybe make his case to get himself into the chase for the championship. But what a race from green to checker. McCurry picks up the victory here tonight. Unbelievable job. McCurry almost picked up another win for Audi in Dylan Young's Universal Orlando Cup Series, but it was not to be. Tonight, he capitalizes on it, and what a win for that team there out of Kyotech Racing. Bob Jones, man, he had a strong car here tonight. Started on the pole. I don't think his car ever fell outside the top 5 in the running order. He'll come away with a decent run of 2nd place. One of the few drivers tonight that came in running well in points, actually finished with a good run, as he came in 6th in the standings. Look out for him to be picking up a few spots in the standings tonight. Then you got Levi McIntyre. Great run for him. He's, as I said, been putting together the good runs, and he does another one here tonight in 3rd. James McLeod, that was the sleeper tonight, I think. Never really talked about him tonight, and he came up there at the end of this race. Comes away with a solid run of 4th. Then Jessica Shelton, great run for her tonight in 5th place. She's very good at this track, and she kept her car inside the top 10 all night long. Comes away with a solid top 5 run in that Coors Light Chevy. How about Nick Barney? Great run for him in the 6th position. Barney has been actually doing pretty well in the past few weeks. Sean Galligan, nice run for him. He came in 11th in points, and we know that drivers ahead of him, such as Megan Atkins, Austin LaPlante, and Richard Johnson, had trouble. We could see Galligan up inside the top 10 in points after this evening's race. Kyle Corbett, after that last round of green flag pit stops, he ended up fading away a little bit and then got that damage. Well, damaged car and all, he still comes away with a solid run of 8th tonight. That could possibly move him back up inside the top 20 in points. William Duncan, nice run for him in his final race in that 99 number. He's going to get a 9th place finish. And Sean Henley, nice run here tonight for him as well in the 10th position. Didn't really talk about the National Guard Chevy, and he gets a solid run here. Henley comes into this race currently, where is he in points? He's 21st in points, so he could be making a case for himself, too, to maybe move himself up towards the top 10 in points. Take a look at 2 teams in particular. You got the Roush Fenway boys, the 17 in 3rd place, the 16 in 6th, and the 99 in 9th place. Great run for them, but also Tweenix Racing put on a good show here tonight as well, with McLeod in 4th, Galligan in 7th, and Sean Henley completing the top 10. Let's find out where the rest of the drivers coming in the top 10 in points finished this evening's race. Chris Washer, our winner from Daytona last week, He'll probably stay inside the top 10. Nice run for him in 11th. How about Jacob Lawler? We didn't really talk about the 11 except that one time when he was way at the rear of the field back in the mid-20s. He battled back for a solid run of 12th place tonight, so he'll stay in the top 10 in points. Charles Sanford, good run for him in 14th after starting up near the front. He'll possibly move inside the top 10 in points. Don't know. He was 14th in points coming into this race, but he comes away with a solid 14th position here tonight. Looking further down, Joshua Collard, he was up there inside the top 15, but then fell back to a 20th position, but I think he'll stay in the top 10 in points. Noah Hart finishes 22nd. He was 5th in points, so we'll have to see where he's going to be after this evening's race. Harrison Langford trying to make his way into the top 10. He finished 27th. How about Ian Dunna? Ended up finishing 28th position, 3 laps down. That's not too bad for a driver that really was put behind the 8 ball to start off this race. He comes away still with a top 30 finish. Don't know if it's enough to keep the points lead, but I think, based on where everybody else finishes, I think he still will be the points leader. The driver who tried to run him down for the points lead, Danny Wells, finishes in 30th position out of the race. So that is, I think, going to keep the points lead in the possession of Ian Dutta. The only other driver that we need to find out where they finish are Megan Atkins, Austin LaPlante, and Richard Johnson. Where were they? Austin LaPlante was 23rd. Richard Johnson finished out of the race in 36th. And, of course, Megan Atkins retired from the race very early in the 39th position. So some drivers had good runs tonight. Some drivers did not. And some drivers looked like they weren't going to have good runs and ended up getting good runs. So this was a typical Charlotte race, if you ask me. This was a good event here, and it was our longest race of the season. Thank you all for sticking it out, and hope that you enjoyed this evening's race. Anthony McCurry puts Kyle Tech's Audi in the victory lane for the 3rd time since Audi made its debut in the middle of Season 6. So congratulations to McCurry and that team on their first win of Season 7, their first win since Season 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Here comes your official finisher results, overall points, stands, and rookie points, heading into next week's event, which is going to be from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. And then we're heading over to Kansas for our final race of the season. And then, of course, we'll have our LCQ race at Talladega, where one lucky driver will get their way into the chase for the championship, as that chase field will be set when the checker flag waves at Kansas in 2 weeks. See you guys next time. Here comes all the stuff you need to know heading into next week's race at Pocono, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.